Okay, in this video, we are going to prove this identity related to nested summations. So, it's a summation on this condition. Now, what does this condition say is 1 less than equals to I1 less than, strictly less than I2, strictly less than I3, all the way up to Ik, which is less than equals to n. Now, this is a general function, f of I1, I2, all the way up to Ik. Like, you can take an example like I1 plus I2 all the way up to Ik. So we consider the general function. This is one of the examples. Now we want to prove that this summation is actually equal to this nested summation. So you can look at this nested summation to have a feel of what is going on. So first of all, try this question by yourself and then watch the video. Okay, let's start. So it's given that one is less than or equals to I1, which is less than I2, which is less than I3, all the way up to I sub k minus 1, which is less than or equals to n. So from this chain of inequalities, we have the following implications. Now you can actually see that 1 is less than or equals to I1. I1 is strictly less than I2. So this implies that I1 is less than or equals to I2 minus 1, because you can actually see that all of these I sub 1, I sub 2, all the way up to I sub 1, all of these i's are actually natural numbers, and this property holds for any two natural numbers and also for integers. So I sub 2 is strictly less than I sub 3, which actually implies I sub 2 less than or equals to I sub 3 minus 1. Now, continuing this process, we'll get I sub k minus 1 is less than I sub k, which implies I sub k minus 1 less than or equals to I sub k minus 1. And at last, I sub k is less than or equals to n. Now, I just wrote this full inequality type equation in two pieces to have a feel of what's going on. Now what we are going to do is we're going to chain these inequalities into one single inequality. Now chaining the inequalities we obtain I sub 1 I sub 1 is less than or equals to I sub 2 minus 1. Now this is less than or equals to I sub 3 minus 1, minus 1. You can actually see it from here. Now I sub 2 is less than or equals to I sub 3 minus 1, and we are going to continue this process until we reach this thing. So what we are doing, we are finding the maximum value of I sub 1 through these inequalities. Okay, so let's continue. Now continuing this process, we'll reach I sub k minus 1. Now since I sub k is less than or equals to n, it follows that I sub 1 is actually less than or equals to n minus k minus 1. We just replaced I sub k with n, which is equals to n minus k plus 1. Now this is the maximum possible value I1 can take. Now more generally, now we are speaking generally, for each one less than equals to p less than equals to k, we have maximum value of I sub p. Now you can actually see this very easily. Here I deduce the value of I sub 1, the maximum value. You can actually do for rest of the I sub 2, I sub 3 by yourself, and eventually you'll notice that there's a pattern. And the pattern is the maximum value of I sub p is n minus k plus p. You can also prove it by induction, but it's not needed here. And for 2 less than equals to p less than equals to k, the minimum value of I sub p equals I sub p minus 1 plus 1. Thus the original summation so this is the original summation. Now, thus the original summation, this was the original summation, and it can be equivalently rewritten as a nested summation. Now, you have to focus on this nested summation. Now, I1 is starting from minimum value of I1 and going till maximum value of I1. Now, that's just common sense. And like you study basic summations, it's just common sense that I1 starts from its minimum value and it reaches its maximum value. I just wrote like this so that it's more easy to understand what's going on. Like this strict inequalities, like chain of inequalities, is actually this nested summation. Now you can write this equivalently simply like that. Okay, and what is the maximum value of I1, I2 all the way up to Ik? What is the maximum value? I told you here's the maximum value and here's the minimum value. You have to just put these values in this nested summation, and it will yield the desired result. So yeah, this is all for today, and I hope all of this is clear. Okay, so thanks for watching.